Yeah, guess what, folks? Today we're going to take on some really mean ones. I've got about a week sawing in front of me, and it's all going to be pecan. Pecan is a type of hickory, and being a type of hickory, it's tough as nails. Grumpy is an old junkyard dog. It likes to move, it likes to twist when you saw into it, it likes to turn around and bite you, it likes to pull up like a carrot peel, and it also really likes to be hard on your sawmill blades and your sawmill for that matter. If I'm going to be sawing this stuff for the next several days, I'm going to take the time to reconfigure my sawmill to cut through these things as easily as I can. This falls under my favorite phrase, take steps to save steps. I'm going to show you some of the steps I take to make it easier on myself, and if you're going to be sawing some of these guys, any of these logs in this really hard category, hickories, pecans, honey locust, black locust, persimmon, stuff like that, you ought to reconfigure your system to saw them, and it will work much better. As a matter of fact, a lot of the things that I've changed for sawing all logs, so actually you get a peek into some of the little secrets I have to make my world a little bit easier. I never used to show these things to people before I started making the YouTube stuff, because these are some pretty hard-earned tricks, I'm telling you. Diesel is an incredibly good lubricant and cleaning fluid for sawing wood that really likes to pitch up. If you have pitch buildup on your blades are suffering, you're going to get premature blade breakage. Everything's bad. So diesel is the absolute best blade cleaner and lubricant I've ever seen. A lot of sawmill manufacturers recommend using some sort of soap and water or pine salt or some other concoction. That'll work fine for most woods, but when you're actually trying to saw something hard, then you need to put some diesel fuel on the blade. Diesel fuel is an oil. It will lubricate your blade. It will keep your blade guide rollers lubricated. Keeps everything spotlessly clean. So a clean blade will saw fast. It'll saw straight. It won't wave. It'll stay sharper longer. Everything's good with a clean blade. In order to run diesel, you got to make a few adjustments. So let's talk about how you modify your system. Step one, cut a big hole in the top of your Wood-Mizer or other lube tank. Big hole. I think it's like a 2-inch. Why am I doing that? Well, because got this little bitty old bathroom faucet here and all this kind of stupid stuff. In order to change the fluid out, you got to take all this mess off. You got to refill it. I ain't doing that. I'm too old for that. So what you do, cut your hole right there. Watch how easy this is to fill. The key on this is you've got to have the right spout cover. I use no water bottle. Then you simply take this stuff, turn it up, pour it in. Let's do something really difficult. I've got a rag. I'll just cover it up. Cool thing about Wood-Mizer is they strap their water tank down 2 bungee cords. Take one bungee cord, go over the rag. Take the other bungee cord, go over the rag. Now the rag is firmly attached. It covers everything. There's no sawdust, no mess. I mean, seriously, what could be easier? The viscosity of diesel is so high that it won't spray correctly with 2 nozzles. So you basically have to plug one nozzle. That way you can increase pressure and spray out the top nozzle. So most Wood-Mizers that have a Lube-Mizer attachment will have a top and a bottom sprayer. Bottom one out and plug it. I like to use a grease fitting simply because it's got that correct thread. It goes right on in. It's easy to take out and put back in if I need to. This keeps the diesel fuel from just dribbling out the bottom, and it keeps the pressure high enough where it sprays out on the top sprayer and hits the top of the band. You'll never build sap up on the bottom of the blade. It always builds up on the top of the blade. So that's where you need to be putting your cleaner and lubricant. So take this guy out of the bottom, place it. That diesel will make rubber swell. I also just don't want this stuff dripping all over the ground in case there's an issue. So the easy thing to do is on your Lube-Mizer line, go ahead and put a little bitty valve there, 90 degrees on, 90 degrees off. This allows you to close things very cleanly, whereas that $2.35 bathroom fitting they have on the water tank won't always seal. You don't want to be leaking your expensive diesel fuel on the ground when you're not sawing, and you sure don't want to mess the ground up by pulling an Exxon Valdez. So just get you a good one of these guys. Stick it on the line, close it, you're good. That when I'm using diesel, I'm going to turn that all the way down. Won't turn it off, but it will turn it all the way down. You only need like 1 shot per 3 or 4 feet of travel. You don't need much. If you over lubricate, you're going to stink your boards up, you're going to stink your hands up. It's just going to be a mess. So turn your flow rate down. You don't need it. So here's how we find out how we did. Let's sight down these edges. You can see there's almost perfect. There's almost zero wave in these edges. If you look down from one end of the board to the other, you can look right down the edges themselves. Very straight, very clean. All the boards look like that. They all look like clones of each other. Very straight lines all the way down. A little bit of sawdust, not much. Same thing here. If you sight down them, clean, clean, straight, 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 straight. Everything's straight. Very little sawdust. This is what the wood's supposed to look like. Well, this is our second pack so far. About 350, 400 board foot in it. I guess we've got about 800 board foot on that blade. Time to change it out. You can't be sawing with a dull blade. That's a waste of time. So let's go see how we did with the blade. I'm sure it's still super clean. Let's go take a look. Here's the blade. Everything looks really good. Really shiny, smooth, very clean. You'll notice there's no pitch at all build up on it. So a clean blade will saw fast. It'll saw straight. It won't wave. It'll stay sharper longer. Everything's good with a clean blade. So it's time to swap it out, put a new one on, and get back to sawing. We got a lot of logs left to do. Hope y'all learned something. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. We'll get back to you. Otherwise, we fixing to get sawing again. Have a good day.